Hello everyone, thanks for joining me tonight for this live webinar. We're going to be talking about natural healthcare and essential oils, and I've really been looking forward to sharing with everyone how these amazing essential oils have really changed my life, my family's life, and certainly so many other people's lives now around the world. And doTERRA essential oils are the oils that that I choose to use, with my family and my friends. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, I started using essential oils just out of adversity, really. One of my boys was really quite unwell, and I've got 4 young boys, and the last 2 were twins. And so Nicky would constantly be unwell, and he would always end up with respiratory issues. Low immune system and respiratory issues. And it was just, it was actually from the age of 3 months old. And, we ended up in hospital at times, with breathing difficulties, all that kind of stuff. And I know that a lot of other parents have been through that. And I think a lot of people remember being through that as well themselves as children. So it was really out of that adversity. And I came across someone who is now a dear friend, Renee Twilley, and she recommended that I try this respiratory blend, the Easy Air. I drop on his chest and under his feet. And so I took it upon myself that night to do this and not use any of his over-the-counter medications or prescriptions. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody to stop doing that at all. I just had a really strong sense of needing to do this for Nicky, and I was quite comfortable with it. I did some research on the oils. There wasn't a lot out there really, and especially not for mums, but I thought, they're plant extracts, they're powerful. I'll make sure I dilute them. Anyway, I used it that night. He went to sleep very quickly, which was unusual to start with. And then, he woke up at about 10 or 11, maybe 12, doing the same thing, coughing, not being able to breathe. And we quite simply just applied that oil to his chest and under his feet, and he went back to sleep. Gave him a cuddle. He in the past may not have received a cuddle, but he would have received a huge spacer over his face, and me telling him to be quiet and not wake his brother up next to him. It was a really powerful experience, actually, the first time, and it just drove me even further down this path of natural healthcare and wellness. And it's certainly been a journey of learning. I feel like I've done my own degree in natural healthcare, but 2 years on, we're so much healthier for it, and food plays a major role for us, definitely. Removing toxins from our home, skincare, cleaning, we'll talk about that as well. So for anyone that's kind of just joined, I think it's going to be in the reverse here, but we're hoping to have a live Q&A, and unfortunately the internet's kind of played up on me, but I think you're reading it in reverse. You can send through your questions as I'm kind of chatting along to info@vitalityoils.com.au. So info@vitalityoils.com.au. Email your questions there, and I'll do my best to either answer them as I go along if it's appropriate, or I'll answer them at the end. But again, let's try and get through this so you can all get most of the information that you need and get to bed, I guess, process it all, get to bed, and we can chat again in the morning. So I'm going to be following this sheet of information, and pretty much point 1, point 2, point 3, so that you can then go ahead and make some notes for yourself and know exactly where I'm at, so you can come back to it all at the end. Now, I guess from a very young age, I was always drawn to essential oils and their beautiful aroma. And certainly, I realize now that there's so much more than something that smells lovely in our home, as a perfume or a deodorizer, maybe. So let's go through now exactly what essential oils are. So essential oils are pure extracts derived from plants, and they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs themselves. So if you think of, say, oregano oil, oregano, the herb that you might cook with, or marjoram. The essential oil is just so much more powerful. So the oils are either distilled or cold pressed. And for that reason, we need to use them with a certain amount of care and understanding, because yes, they're from Mother Nature, they're pure and they're safe to that effect, but these oils are really powerful, and they all do elicit a certain, detoxifying effect in the body. So let's go on and talk about a little bit later how we can use the oil safely. Now, the essential oils are actually nature's defense mechanism. So it's the defense mechanisms within the plants themselves that we are able to utilize. So the plants use these defense mechanisms out in the wild, and we are able to utilize them for ourselves, for our own benefit. The plants are raw organic matter, we're raw organic matter, and it's a like with like situation. So our body knows exactly what to do with them. They've been used anciently throughout history, and they're highly concentrated. So 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is like 28 cups of peppermint tea. So, if you're drinking that peppermint oil for some sort of soothing effect, whether it's on the stomach or your emotions, 1 drop is like 28 cups of peppermint tea. So really, really powerful, very therapeutic, especially for doTERRA essential oils, and, eventually then cost effective because you're only using 1 drop at a time. Now, I wish you could smell this. Peppermint's amazing. It's really invigorating, really uplifting. And I'll just go on to say that, again, because you're only using 1 drop at a time, the oils are really potent. Let's use them mindfully. They're really effective. They are really safe, but they're also going to be really affordable. There's like, in a 15 ml bottle, 250 odd drops. So this bottle goes a long way. Now, I will also say that using the oils, especially one like peppermint, it's really important to use a carrier oil. There are a few reasons why you'd use a carrier oil. So using a carrier oil will, be safer. So for sensitive skin, for younger children, it's going to dilute the intensity of the oils. Then you are also going to receive more effectiveness. The body will absorb the essential oils much more effectively when they're in a carrier oil. Now, a carrier oil is a fatty acid. So, at the moment I'm holding up fractionated coconut oil. You could use jojoba oil, extra virgin olive oil. We really like to use the fractionated coconut oil. It does not leave a greasy residue or a film. And for most of the applications, that's exactly what you want. You want the oils to be driven into the body where they need to be used, without an oily film. Now, I'm oiling up 4 young boys at the moment. Everyone's immune system's running a bit low, and morning and night I'm putting oils on their feet. I'd be an oily kind of fish, really, if I wasn't using the fractionated, because it'd leave a residue. So definitely use carrier oil for safety, for effectiveness, and to cut the heat of any of the oils that are a little bit spicier, like peppermint, like oregano, that we're going to talk about tonight. I'm getting a few questions coming through. Okay, so number 2, let's explore nature's solutions for your health. So essential oils don't replace traditional medication. However, they do provide a natural alternative. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody to stop taking their medication or stop whatever they're doing with their GP or doctor, but just explore that there is a natural alternative. I'm not anti-medicine or modern medicine. In fact, there's definitely times when modern medicine is a lifesaver. So definitely, I'm not anti-medicine. But for all those other times, why don't we look for a natural solution? Let's try and look for something to support our bodies daily, and let's be proactive about it. So choosing to use essential oils will provide you and your family with hundreds of natural compounds that have many health benefits. So let's go back to the peppermint. So this peppermint, when we're talking about all the compounds of essential oils, you can think about this peppermint oil. It can be effective for head tension, neck tension, any type of, respiratory issue that someone might be experiencing, even some sort of digestive discomfort, even something, even muscular discomfort it can help with. So all those different uses from one essential oil. Now, that's because of all those many compounds that the plants naturally embody. If you were to go and go to the chemist and get something over the counter, effectively, you're ending up with 4 or 5 different products, unnatural products mostly, to look after all those different issues in the body, when you can use one essential oil. That's really powerful. Now, using the essential oil has the ability to address the problem, the root cause, because the oils can cross the cell membrane, and we'll talk about that in a little while. And there are no known side effects with essential oils, aside from the fact that some can be spicy, and you might accidentally use the peppermint, stick your finger in your eye, it's going to sting. It's not going to kill you, and there's certainly no synthetic toxins in there, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's going to sting, and children will certainly think it stings. I put peppermint, the first time I put peppermint on Matthew on his temples, he ended up with peppermint in his eyeballs, mostly because he felt the vapor going into the eyes and he thought it was the oil and started rubbing. So definitely with children, oils around the face, dilute, keep it near the temples, near the hairline there, behind the neck even is really useful. So that's probably the most major side effects with this. And also, comparing synthetic medications and prescriptions over the counter, there are side effects. And you know this because there's that leaflet that you get out of that medication packet that kind of opens up in a concertina-like effect, and there's all this information there that we can barely read and understand, and they're all the side effects. They're all the very real side effects. So there's none of that with the essential oils. And so they're safe for the whole family. There are obviously oils that are a little bit too intense for newborn babies. Now, a really great reference tool is this Modern Essentials book. It is my Bible. So when you flick to the back of this, you won't be able to see it very clearly, but it gives you each essential oil, topical use, aromatic use, internal use, safety for adult children, pregnancy, and a rough dilution rate, as in, do you need to dilute it more heavily, etc. You can get this book from a really great website called Aromatools, and you want to Google the Aromatools Australian website if you're in Australia, or there's a US website if you're around the world, and you can get the book from there. You can also pick up some of these other really useful tools, which we'll have a look at a little bit later. Soap pump bottles, and so we'll have a look at that and how you can get rid of some other toxins in your home really, really easily. Now, I will go back to talking about how effective the oils are. And the oils are absorbed into our body in 30 seconds to a minute. Now, even using the oils topically, they're in our bloodstream in 30 seconds to a minute. That's really powerful. And that comes back to their purity and the fact that our body knows exactly what to do with them. And then typically our body will utilize everything that it needs from the oils, metabolize them within 2 to 3 hours, and our body knows exactly what to do and how to get rid of them. All you've got to do is drink lots of water. We should be doing that anyway. So that's a given. That's really easy. Okay, number 3 now. Why doTERRA essential oils? So doTERRA, the company, was created by a group of business people and healthcare professionals, and they're definitely the brand that I choose to use for my family. Now, it comes down to doTERRA's safety and quality. So doTERRA has created their own standard of testing, and you might think, oh, okay, well, that's great, their own standard. What does that mean? Excellent. You should question this, because with essential oils, there's no governing body. So any oil company can legally fill a bottle with, say, just 10% of the essential oil and use some sort of filler, and they can legally label it pure. Now, how do you know what's in a bottle if it's labeled pure? So with doTERRA essential oils, they ensure that each batch goes through multiple tests, so within doTERRA itself and with third parties, so that they're getting external bodies to test the oils to ensure for purity. Now, if you've got an oil like, say, lemon or wild orange essential oil, we know they're foods. Citrus are cold pressed from the rind, and so it would stand to reason that if it is really pure, then you should be able to ingest it or at least use it in your food preparation. So you can look on these bottles and see that it says for dietary use only. So you can see that on these bottles. So that's a really good sign, especially when using essential oils. Now, some of the ways that we're going to talk about using the oils, I'm only recommending for doTERRA. Now, another really amazing point of difference for doTERRA is the way that they source the oils. So all the oils are sourced from the plant's place of origin. And so what that means is that where a plant grows naturally, where it's native to, it will grow most vigorously because it already has all the right environmental needs to ensure that it does grow so vigorously. There's no need for extra human intervention, sprays, fertilizers, whatnot. It'll literally grow like a weed there. And so some of the oils, we do source them from third world countries, and doTERRA actively does look to source from countries that need or an economic boost. So for example, doTERRA sources their vetiver from Haiti. Now we source our wintergreen from Nepal. Our frankincense is from Somalia. So initially, all those plants do originate there. They grow in abundance. doTERRA works really closely with these communities to empower them, so to teach them how to work with Mother Nature and grow more effectively. Not only that, but how to distill the oils. So effectively, doTERRA is cutting out the middleman, where a lot of their earnings would have been lost, and doTERRA is further empowering them. The other amazing thing is that in doing this, it gives these people more skills, and doTERRA also has something really special called their co-impact sourcing, and that just involves the way that we source the oils, remove the middleman, ensure that these people are paid an even higher wage than usual, and it's to better their lives. We also look at doing things like installing fresh water supplies and any other basic needs that these communities have. So the way that we source, ensures that the oils are really safe, but also sustainably and ethically. The standards are there as well. So effectiveness. Plants produce essential oils to fight threats. So we kind of already discussed that, and it's their own defense mechanism that they use within their environment that we can use to support ourselves within our own environment, and certainly for our body to help us. And so essential oils can penetrate the cell wall. So this little picture here, you can see the essential oil moving across that black barrier, the cell. And so the essential oils can penetrate that cell wall. Now, something synthetic, over-the-counter products, cannot cross that cell wall to attack the threats that may be within our cells. That's really powerful. So essential oils can deal with threats outside our cells and inside our cells. And certainly synthetic man-made products cannot do that. And so that's a really big thing to remember now that we're coming into winter, and at a time when our immune system is typically lowered and we need something to support ourselves, something natural, something that doesn't hinder our immune system, in fact. So essential oils will help you to take control of your health naturally. Now, number three, still on number three, because of all of this, the oils are really affordable, and typically you'll only use 1 or 2 drops per application, so every 2 to 3 hours. And for myself, I haven't been to a GP or a hospital in 2 years. Now, I've got 4 young boys, 10, 6, and the twins are now 4. And so I've had plenty of reasons where in the past I would have gone to a GP or maybe even an aftercare service, but I just haven't had to. I've had the natural tools to be able to deal with it. I will say that overall, the way our health has increased and our immune system is strengthened, I guess our body's more resilient, so we don't fall as hard as we used to, which is amazing. So Number 4, how do we use essential oils? Now, you can use the oils internally, topically, and aromatically. Now, internally, you can add a drop of water, a drop of essential oil to water under your tongue, or put it in a veggie capsule. Now, I make my lemon water in the morning with the essential oil. So this is cold pressed from the rind, and there's no citric acid in it. The difference between squeezing the juice out and drinking that in the morning is that there's citric acid in that juice, and citric acid can cook fish and chicken. So it's really, really, really harsh, and it can be quite harsh on the gut. And in fact, I couldn't drink lemon water in the morning. I used to lie about it because it was supposed to be really healthy, and so I thought, oh, I'll just say I do it, but I can't. So all I would do was drink apple cider vinegar, and again, I couldn't do that every day for other reasons. So I just put 1 drop of lemon essential oil in a glass of water, warm water, boil the jug, get another jug, put half boiling, half cold, so it's warm. And then I pour it over the top of my drop of essential oil in a cup or a mug. You wouldn't want to put boiling water on the essential oils because it'll destroy those beneficial therapeutic compounds that you're looking for drinking in the morning. So yeah, that's one way of using the oils. Now, taking the oils internally will nourish your whole body and your digestive system, mouth, throat, liver. You could, effectively gargle lemon, or for an upset throat, or swish peppermint around to freshen your breath. So I certainly do put a drop of peppermint in my coconut oil in the morning and use it for my oil pulling. So yeah, for oil pulling though, you would spit it out then into the earth. So you can also use the oils topically. Now, when applied to the body, 1 drop is powerful enough to service the whole body. So 1 drop can service the whole body. And when applied to the bottom of the feet, it enters your bloodstream within 30 seconds. That's powerful. And if anything, that's a great place to start using the oils topically in that way under the feet. Our feet, the skin under our feet is typically not as sensitive as other areas. So, just 1 drop, some carrier oil, massage it into the feet, socks on, especially for children if it's a spicy oil, so they're not touching it and putting it in their eyes and in their mouth. But you can see that it's a really powerful way. You can also apply it to, the back of your ears, temples, over the area of concern, whether it's the chest or the stomach, or leg for a muscular issue. Now, for example, first thing in the morning when I wake up, there's a couple of things that I do, and one of the things I do is pop this balance oil on. And so I'll really simply just get a drop of essential oil onto my finger, drop or 2, and massage it in to my temples, on my neck, and then I'll do a couple of drops under my feet. Now this blend is amazing. It's our balance blend, so it's grounding, it's centering. It has frankincense in it, and frankincense can cross the blood-brain barrier. So first thing in the morning, that's the perfect thing to be doing, looking to create a sense of balance within the body, because everything else we do after that, hopefully positive, will be more effectively received when our body's in a state of balance, as opposed to when it's frazzled. And then after that, I get my peppermint to wake up, and I'll show you how I do that a bit later. You just do want to be really cautious with, or as I said, oils going to eyes when you're using it on your fingers, lips if it's spicy, ears. You would never put essential oils into your ears ever. My husband has accidentally done that before, and Jackie's okay. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't put it up nose or anything like that, or in eyes. It will hurt. And so for sensitivities, make sure that you dilute, and it's really simple to dilute with this fractionated coconut oil. Now, you might be just wondering what fractionated coconut oil is, and some of you might know it as MCT, and so basically it's medium chain fatty acids. Now, in your cooking coconut jar at home, you've got long chain fatty acids, medium chain fatty acids. It's the long chain fatty acids that are the ones that solidify. The medium chain fatty acids are the ones that by nature remain liquid. So doTERRA has just taken those out. They still have all those therapeutic benefits that coconut oil has, antibacterial, antiviral, and it leaves less of a claggy feeling on the skin. Now, I have experimented with the cooking coconut oil because so many people have said, well, why can't I use it? You can, and if you have nothing else, absolutely, it's still better in my view than using extra virgin olive oil that leaves an oily film. However, if you are going to be using the oils a lot and you're going to create some concoctions, you want something that stays liquid. Fractionated coconut oil is perfect. Now, another way to use the oils is aromatically, and using the oils aromatically is actually the fastest way to affect the brain. And so let's just quickly go through this. What happens is when you smell something, a molecule, an aromatic compound, touches the olfactory bulbs in your nose and connects directly to the limbic seat of the brain. Now, even at the point of here, where the molecule touches, your brain hasn't registered anything. It's when it goes up into this part of the brain and it connects to the limbic area of the brain where our memory is housed. So we remember something that we've smelled before and we were taught that, oh yes, that's right, it's an orange and it's safe and it's good. It's where our mood and our emotions are regulated. So using the oils aromatically is really powerful for mood. Now I've got my diffuser going in the background, and tonight I've got some patchouli in there because it's grounding and it's centering and kind of keeps me focused on where I am. And the wild orange oil, because emotionally it's an oil of abundance and creativity. And so I'm trying to draw on that tonight while I'm talking to all of you so that this can all just flow nicely and you can all get all the information you need. So yeah, diffuser is really powerful for the brain. I think it's also really important to say that let's try and set some intention with the oils when we want to use them emotionally. So, we might just whip out the lavender, and yes, it's really calming and really soothing, and that because it has that linalool in it. But even more powerful beyond that is connecting the positive thoughts that it's calming, it's soothing. I use my lavender because it's calming and soothing on my emotions and on my skin. So just knowing a few little bits of information of each oil as you're using it is enough to set that intention, so that as soon as it comes out, straight away, and you smell it and your brain just switches off that fight flight mode and just goes calm and stops pumping the cortisol through the body. So diffusing also helps to kill germs in the air, sanitizes the air. So again, going into winter when our doors are shut, it's really important to have a diffuser going, as opposed to having something like one of those pump sprays that you can get from the supermarket, Ampipur or whatever they are, and which are chemical and toxic and affect the respiratory system. Diffusing next to bedside at night can be really lovely and calming. It can also help to soothe the respiratory system if someone's having trouble at night breathing. Diffusing when the kids come home from school to help with focus. Set the intention that it's time to focus, and depending on which oils you use, it can be really great to clear the mind. So up to number 5 now. So doTERRA can help you build on a foundation of good nutrition and supplementation. So before starting with doTERRA, I was kind of against supplements, and it took me a little while to try them, but now I've been taking the Long Life Vitality supplements for quite some time, and I can seriously notice the difference when I'm not taking them. And it actually took me to forget to place an order or get a bit lazy and not place an order that I thought, oh gosh, what's wrong with me? And I started taking my supplements again, and what do you know, I've got all this extra energy. My husband's the same. He was a bit of a skeptic to it, but he noticed as well, and he's even more onto me about getting those supplements. So you can use doTERRA's, essential oils as well for this, for your daily proactive care. It's really important to eat right. So part of my journey, has hugely been on learning how to get rid of chemicals and toxins in our food, because they've legally kind of somehow made their way in there, and it's in the form of numbers and words that we don't really understand. And so for us, it's been things like removing dairy from our diet. It's been things like getting rid of all the processed foods and the chemicals and the toxins. I'm a mum of 4, so I know how hard it can be, but look, reach out to me and we can have a bit of a chat about some basic recipes that have kind of become a winner in our household and could help you as well. Now, doTERRA's oils, doTERRA, you can see at the bottom of the pyramid here, is that they're saying it's about eating right to start with and exercising. Exercise, look, if you're into running marathons, great. If you feel good about running marathons, excellent, run marathons. However, if it stresses you out, it's maybe not that great for you. So, it can be something as simple as going for a walk, breathing deeply, being mindful, keeping the body calm so that our body's not pumping cortisol everywhere, and switching off those important functions of the digestive system, the immune system, endocrine system, because that all certainly gets switched off when cortisol is pumping through the body as a result of stress. Now, you can use the oils to help you rest and manage your stress. Now, straight away come to mind oils like lavender and frankincense. You can massage lavender, a drop of lavender and some carrier oil, massage it into your feet, into your children's feet. To really help that even more, you can massage some frankincense also, temples. As I said, frankincense can cross the blood-brain barrier, which is really powerful. I think there's only 2 drugs out there that can do that, and there are so many side effects with that. So it's the last thing that our brain really needs. So lavender and frankincense can really help. There are other oils, so balance, the one that I use every single morning, to help balance me and ground me. Reducing toxic load, so that's next. And when I say next, it's next, but it's kind of all together. And this is one of the big things that I really try and educate people on, some simple ways to get rid of some of the most toxic items in your home. Okay, so let's quickly make up a really simple multi-purpose cleaner. Now, this is a 2-cup capacity bottle, but in any 1 cup, you would add 20 drops of essential oils. So I am going to add, and this is my usual multi-purpose cleaner, 10 drops of On Guard, and that's our protective blend, and 10 drops of lemon essential oil, and I'm going to fill it up with demineralized water, the water that you'd put in an iron. It's had all those chemicals removed from it. Just fill it up. That's it. Okay, now I use this to wipe my kitchen benches. I've already mentioned that I've got 4 young boys. I've got 1 toilet. So a bottle of this stays made up, in my toilet, ready to go to spray it down. I will say that I also like to use doTERRA's concentrated cleaner in there, but that is definitely a multi-purpose cleaner that can wipe down the whole of your house. The oils in there are all food grade, so you can be preparing food and wiping down your benches, and it's not going to be toxic or synthetic in any way, and upset anyone's digestive system or immune system. So that's one really simple thing that I urge everybody to do. Another really simple product is hand wash. So really simple, and what you would use is Castile soap. So Castile soap is quite simply soap that's made on vegetable oil, and it's just 2 tablespoons. I'm going to guesstimate because I do it all the time. 1, 2, so a bit more. 2 tablespoons of Castile soap. You can buy it in bulk. There's various websites. Organic Buyers Group is where I get it from, with a group of ladies. But you can Google Castile soap and just make sure you buy the pure stuff, organic. 1 tablespoon of fractionated coconut oil. Again, get it from doTERRA. So 1 tablespoon. And this is about a 200 ml pump bottle, and it's just 10 drops of essential oil. So I mix it up, but let's go with 10 drops of peppermint oil because it's really fresh and invigorating. A couple more, and because it smells nice. And the tea tree oil, Melaleuca, 10 drops of this. 9, 10. Now, tea tree oil, highly antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, so perfect to have in there. Peppermint's got those elements as well to a varying degree. And again, just fill it up with your good old demineralized water. Now, if you've got purified water at home, use that. Simple. Okay, that's it. Now, this is quite simply a pump with a foaming action inside it. So I'll pump it out and you can see that it comes out with a foam there. And you would use it with water. I don't have any water here right now, so I'm just going to do that. It's all natural, doesn't bother me. That's it. Really simple. You know, we can talk about some ways shortly. Deodorants, perfumes, essential oils. Don't use perfume anymore. There's so much information and scientific studies to show that synthetic perfumes and cleaners and chemicals are major hormone disruptors and other, you know, disrupt our other body systems. So you can do a Google search on that. There's heaps of information out there, but definitely get rid of all those cleaners and horrible hygiene products. Having something simple like Castile soap at home makes up a really easy body wash. And I've got some stuff on my website, so you can find that there. Okay, now let's go through some of doTERRA's main essential oils, some of my favorite essential oils. And to be quite honest, I've got so many different essential oils. I love patchouli, I love wild orange, you know, I love rose essential oil and bergamot. However, my daily go-to oils are the oils that we're about to go through. And when I went looking for them, they were all over in the lounge room because I was applying the oils to the boys today at various times because they're feeling unwell, and nearly every single oil from the oils we're about to go through were over there. So peppermint essential oil. I really do wish you could smell this. Now, we source peppermint essential oil from Washington State in the US, and it has menthol in it, and that's why it's really invigorating for the lungs. And so it has that really cooling effect on the body. It can calm the stomach and head tension. Now, quite simply, I'm going to try and show you. Pop a little bit of carrier oil. So I've got about 2 mils, not even a teaspoon, and 1 drop of peppermint essential oil. Now, for head, neck tension, just massage it in there. And I can just massage the neck, the rest of my neck. Really inhale that to wake me up. In the morning, I just quite simply keep a spare bottle of peppermint oil next to my bed, 1 drop in, and inhale, rub it over my neck, and that wakes me up because usually I'm being woken at a time when I'm not ready to wake up yet by 1 of 4 people. And so I've got that next to my bed with balance, ready to start my day. And I set my intentions with those oils that I know that once I put them on, it's go time. And so it pretty much happens like that. My kids also know as well that when they put those oils on, it's go time. And they're allowed to use that as they're ready, when they make the choice to be ready. And so everybody wants a choice, and I think that's really powerful. You know, it's really good for increasing alertness in that way. I love diffusing it in the afternoon with some wild orange. When the kids come home, it's time to have something to eat, get some homework done. They know this. And then later on in the evening, we switch over to some of the more calming oils, which again, we've set intentions with. Lavender. So lavender is the most popular oil for doTERRA, and we source this one from France. I'm just going to have a smell of it. It contains linalool, and so that's that soothing element that we all know about for lavender. So lavender is amazing to soothe the emotions and also to soothe skin irritations. So any bee stings, bites, you know, even cuts and scrapes, I just put a drop in there. You can see on my website there's a bit of an ulchi blend that I make up with carrier oil, ready to go with lavender, frankincense, and tea tree. And it's diluted enough that my children can go along and just spray it on themselves. My boys certainly know that they're welcome to go and open up the lavender bottle and just get a drop and wipe it over a skin irritation if they have it. I'm not here all the time. I go away for work, so they know that they're allowed to do that. And even, you know, they're happy to get the lavender and pop it on their temples and under their feet before bed. And in fact, they won't go to bed without it. They also love using the Serenity blend for bedtime. It smells delicious. So lavender is also really lovely in the bathtub at night. And so, you know, it's also really handy to put in some Epsom salts in there for the magnesium. If someone's feeling run down or just feels like they need to recuperate, a drop of lavender in there can be really lovely and soothing. Frankincense. So frankincense, it's known as the king of the oils, and I use this one every single day. So I personally place 2 drops of this under my tongue every single day. I'm not recommending that anyone else go out and do that. I feel quite comfortable doing it. And frankincense has the highest anti-inflammatory properties of all the essential oils. And so for my children, they will use this oil. We make up a roller ball, and it's got the frankincense in it with some carrier oil, and they'll quite simply just roll it over their temples, behind their neck. And so they're getting the same effects that way, topically. There's so much information out there for all the many uses of frankincense, and if you're ever in doubt, add frankincense to it. I can't tell you how many times there've been, skin irritations in our home, and I've looked at it and thought, I'll use lavender, I'll use tea tree, and I'm just going to add some frankincense to it as well, for its, really high anti-inflammatory properties. Certainly, if there's respiratory issues and I'm using the easy air, I'll add a drop of frankincense to it for the inflammation. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Whenever you feel like there's some sort of dis-ease in the body, add some frankincense to your concoction. You can use it topically to beautify skin, so a drop and rub it around the eyes. I will say that a drop of frankincense and lavender is also really useful around the eyes, to help if there's any kind of irritation of the eyes. Sometimes children's eyes get a bit gunky and irritated. Lavender and frankincense, just a drop on your finger. You don't even have to drop it out. Just wipe your finger over the top around the eye. Keep it away from the inside of the eye. You don't need to do it. The body will draw it where it needs. It's good nutrition for muscular discomfort. So, if you are using the ice blue blend, which we'll talk about shortly, for any type of muscular discomfort, you can add a drop of frankincense to that, again, for its anti-inflammatory properties. At a cellular level, and I'll just, get you all to kind of think about this with me, we're made up of cells. So skin cells, heart cells, lung cells, we're everything, we're cells. Now, to have something that helps at a cellular level, like frankincense, that has those high anti-inflammatory properties, is really powerful. So I can't stress that one enough. Frankincense, I've already mentioned it, can cross the blood-brain barrier. So cross the blood-brain barrier and get into the cells of the brain. Powerful stuff. No side effects. Has a real balancing effect on those cells, and very, very therapeutic. Tea tree. So tea tree oil. We source this one from Australia. You can add a couple of drops to shampoo. You can add it topically and massage it into the skin if someone has some sort of a skin irritation. It can also help with that. Well, I take it camping. So often, if the kids are running in and out, I've got 4. And I'm taking to the showers and I'm saying, put your thongs on, and people they keep their thongs off. I'll just line them up, a couple of drops on their feet, let it sink in, and away they go. Highly antibacterial and antifungal, so I'm quite happy with that. A drop of tea tree around the ears can soothe discomfort. Now, Jack is my ears man, and so if he's getting a little bit run down, he'll start to tell me that his ears are playing up. And so just a drop around the ears, not inside, and a drop of lavender around the ears, not inside. And what I do is I just kind of say, how are you feeling in 30 minutes or so? Give me a score from 1 to 10 beforehand, and then in 30 minutes he'll say, oh, it's a bit better, but I need a little bit more. And so then in 30 minutes we'll reapply, and we'll go from there. Usually by the second time he's fine, and it's a matter then of just reapplying it every couple of hours, and maybe applying some On Guard to his feet to boost his immune system. Oregano oil. So oregano oil is like nature's antibiotic. It's really, really powerful, natural immune support. It's good for our feet, toenails. It can even help with warts. Certainly helped us in that department. It's really quite spicy, and yes, it's an oil that you can use in food preparation. You only ever need 1 drop. Just a word on using the oils with food preparation. I mentioned it earlier with the lemon oil. When you're adding it to really, really hot liquids, you will lose those therapeutic benefits. And so the oils are really delicate. You potentially will lose a little bit of aroma as well. So add it towards the end of your cooking, and with oregano oil, it's just literally like a toothpick. Now, if you're using it for, if you're brave enough, you can gargle it if you're feeling some sort of throat discomfort. However, I will caution you that it is super, super spicy. You might start by gargling lemon. And then the next step might be the protective blend, on guard, the protective blend. So, and then after that, you're looking at oregano. So, you know, even just a drop in some carrier oil and massaging it under the feet is a really powerful way to help the immune system. And it's certainly an oil that I'm using at the moment with my boys as their immune system is lowered. Lemon essential oil. I'm going to smell this one too. I love it. So our lemon essential oil is sourced from Italy. It just smells divine. You can, you know, use this one aromatically, topically, and internally, as I said, in food preparation. You can do something similar where you just place a drop in the palm of your hand and inhale that for its uplifting benefits. It's also going to clear your airways. So I'll often have some lemon and frankincense with me when I'm traveling, flying on a plane, and I'll just put a drop in my hand and inhale it to constantly clear my airways, because effectively when we come across threats that lower our immune system, we're breathing them in, they're airborne, and so that's a really quick way to clear out that area. It can soothe an irritated throat, neutralizes odors, so diffusing, put some in bicarb, massage that in. You can pop it in shoes. I've certainly had wet beds before that I've, you know, cleaned and tried to dry, and then finished it off with the lemon, bicarb, sprinkle it over the area, let it dry out, and then scoop it up, do that again, and it just helps to sanitize those odors and neutralize them. And it can naturally break down petrochemicals in the body. So that's another really good reason to put a drop in your water in the morning. It's an antioxidant and a detoxifier, and it elevates mood. I'm certainly diffusing a lot of lemon essential oil at the moment with everyone feeling run down. It's a beautiful, clean aroma that doesn't really upset anyone. It's uplifting when everyone's feeling a bit low, their mood's low. It doesn't help anyone feel great, so diffusing lemon's uplifting, and it's sanitizing in the air at the same time. Now, the Ice Blue, our soothing blend, another one. It's got a really amazing smell, and it's all natural. So just a drop. This one's really quite intense, and Matthew will tell me to dilute it even further than the typical, say, 1 to 2 drops per tablespoon that I'd use and massage it over an area. He does find it quite heating. So for someone that's younger, dilute it further. Even for someone that's a bit older, just start with diluting it a little bit further. So 1 drop, about a tablespoon, massage it into an area of discomfort, tired, aching joints, that kind of thing. Now, you know, you could use it for deep tissue massage, but just with the experience that I've had, it gets quite intense. So I'd be inclined to not go as deep with this oil. I actually really like this oil as part of my head tension protocol. So I'll just get a drop in about a teaspoon of carrier oil, massage it over my shoulders, peppermint on my temples, and a drop of frankincense under my tongue. And that usually deals with any kind of head or neck tension that I've got. Certainly if I'm feeling a little bit stressed out, that helps. So that's a really good one. It's really good for anyone that's more mature and has, you know, just really uncomfortable joints and muscles. Now, respiratory blend, it's the one that started it all for me, the Easy Air. Really beautiful. It's got eucalyptus, peppermint, tea tree, ravensara, cardamom. Gosh, it just smells so good. 1 drop, about a teaspoon of carrier oil, massage it over the chest and the back and the feet. That's for someone over 2. I'll just quickly give you an overview of dilution rates. So 1 drop of essential oil per 10 mils for a child under 2, and 1 drop per 5 mils for children that are older than 2, and for adults, 1 drop per about 2 mils of essential oil. You don't have to get all perfect on it. You can just kind of see in your hand how much there is there. But it's great for nourishing the lungs and the sinuses. Diffuse it at night to help get a restful night's sleep if someone's having trouble with the respiratory system. Under the feet's really good too. It's certainly how we started using this oil. I'm going to make up a quick roller ball with the Easy Air in it to show you, because we're using it a lot at the moment. And what I do is I get my fractionated coconut oil and my rollerball, which I picked up from Aromatic. And so it's got this little rolly piece in there. So I always start with a bit of coconut oil in the bottom so that the oils don't get stuck. And I'm going to put in here, this is a 10 ml roller. I'm going to put in here 5 drops. Who's using it yet? 5 drops of the easier. I'm going to add 5 drops of frankincense, again for its anti-inflammatory properties. Yep. And I'm also going to add 5 drops of marjoram to this. It also has some really powerful soothing qualities, which I love using at night time for my children when they need some support sleeping, and also with their respiratory system. And that's it. Fill it up with some fractionated coconut oil. I've got my stickers on there. You get these stickers when you get a kit with doTERRA, so that's all good. And then you just push the rollerball in. Done. Now that is all diluted and ready to go. So my children can effectively just pick that up and pop that on themselves. That's really powerful, giving your children the power back to decide when they need something, not when they're constantly being told, because they know, they're clever. Okay, smart and sassy. So this is our metabolic blend. Now this blend is all about managing cortisol, that stress hormone. And so the oils in here that we've got are, I've gone blank, grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, cinnamon oil. So great for the metabolism. It nutritionally also helps to break down petrochemicals. Now I just place 1 drop in a glass of water. I've got some next to me. It can help lift your energy and your mood. You can place 1 drop and massage it over the adrenal area. It can help to manage hunger. I would say to you, drink lots of water. And I would also say to you, are you actually eating enough? Not just rubbish and processed sugary foods, but maybe you need some fat and good protein and good carbohydrates in your diet. So really sit back and have a think about that. So that oil is really lovely for that. Now, I haven't really spoken about emotions, but emotionally, this is the oil of inner beauty. And so that's really important for self-worth and our ability to see ourselves as being beautiful for what we are, because we are what we are. So that's a really beautiful oil for that. Digestin, our digestive blend. This is another magic potion. So anytime my boys come to me and they say, Mom, I've got an upset stomach, I just get a drop in a bit of carrier oil, massage it over their tummy, and within 5 or 10 minutes they've gone. They're either passing wind, going to the toilet, or just quite happy. For me, I usually know that if my boys have some sort of digestive discomfort, they've eaten something, or maybe they've caught something. But for people that know that they have digestive discomfort after eating food, you can place a drop in some water, have a drink, massage it over your stomach. I would say to you though, sit back and ask yourself, is this discomfort that you're feeling really food related, or are you just a little bit stressed? Because if that's the case, then you might be looking at other oils like lavender and frankincense to help soothe that discomfort. Maybe you've got something big coming up that you're unsure of, and you're feeling a bit unsettled. Lavender and frankincense, and together with the digestive blend, that can help as well. It can certainly help to ease motion sickness. My dear friend Ellen, her son, from the age of 2 was a chronic car vomiter. So, they'd hop in the car and, a 20-minute car ride to drop off older siblings would end up with vomit. And basically all she did was massage a couple of drops of this into his feet, and it was on a long trip as well, out to visit family in Western New South Wales. And he did not vomit once the whole way. And she reapplied it every 2 hours. So 2-year-old, don't think there can really be a placebo effect, but obviously there's emotional events that happen that cause that thing to keep happening. And physically it's helped, and I really believe it helped emotionally as well. Now, last but not least for this evening, the On Guard blend, the protective blend. Now, this one I use every single day. You can see that I used it in my multi-purpose cleaner. You can use it as a mouth rinse. I certainly massage a couple of drops of this oil with some carrier into my children's feet on the way to school, even my own. I've got another bottle of this next to my bed at the moment, just so at night I just pop a couple of drops on my feet, massage it in, because I've got bedtime visitors who are under the weather, and the last thing I need is to be catching what they've got, and so that's what I pop under my feet to help me. Certainly diffusing this oil helps to sanitize the air, and I'm alternating lemon between On Guard oil. You can put them together. You can massage a couple of drops along the spine where the neural passages go along there, and it's great to eliminate airborne threats. It's got cinnamon in it, it's got wild orange, rosemary, clove. Clove essential oil contains the most powerful antioxidants of all the oils, so that's really powerful. You can make up a paste with some bicarb, Castile soap, and On Guard, and scrub your grout. But there's more information about cleaning on my website too. So that's them. That's the basic oils to start with for doTERRA. I haven't even scratched the surface really of what you can do with them. That just gives you a very general overview. So for anyone that's thinking out there, gosh, I wouldn't know where to start, don't worry. We've got a great community of people online. When you get a kit with us of oils, or you get a membership with us, you can go straight into our members page where there are like-minded people there who've started traveling along this journey, and I'm on there as well, and we can all help you start to use the oils. You get your welcome email with information that's tailored to what you'd like to know. And I'm not here to be anybody's guru. I urge everybody to read and learn as much as they can, and we're certainly here as a support network. But there's some really great tools out there that you can start to use and learn, just like I have. I've pretty much just got my Modern Essentials book and made a commitment to wanting to do things naturally, and just as things come up day by day, I refer to that. doTERRA now has a really great Modern Essentials app. So, whether you've got an Apple or an Android phone, you can log on and get your app there and download information really, really easily when you're traveling about. The book is just such a wealth of information. It's got more. So definitely the app's great for traveling around and start with, but I'd get my hands on a book as soon as you can. Okay, so let's talk about number 8. How you can get this one here, how you can get doTERRA essential oils. So basically what you need to do is choose the product kit that is best for you. And so you can buy the oils retail. I don't really sell the oils retail a lot because what I really want to do is educate people on how to get some basic essential oils into your home and start using them just like I do, to be proactive with your healthcare every single day. And I purchase the oils at a wholesale price, and that's how I want people to get their oils as well, at a wholesale price. And the kits really do provide great savings, and then the opportunity to buy further at wholesale. So our most popular kit is this one, the Home Essentials kit, and all the bottles in this kit here are 15 ml. So there is a difference between 15 ml and a 5 ml bottle. So just have a little look. Obviously 3 times the difference. So the Home Essentials kit has all those oils that we spoke about, except for the Smart and Sassy oil, but it has all the others, and it has that frankincense oil in it at a 15 ml size. Now that oil retails at $115, $118 odd dollars. This kit is $330, and so on its own, that kit already provides you with $120 worth of savings off the price of the oils. This kit also gives you a wholesale account, so that means you can log in at any time and buy the oils whenever you want at a wholesale price. There's no pressure to buy any oils every single month. It's just if you need to and when you want to. You also get this really lovely diffuser, which works much the same as the one I've got in the back there. The next kit that's also really useful is the Essential Collection kit. So all the same oils, I've got it here, all the oils that I just spoke about then, and the bottles are 5 ml. So rather than The 15, they're 5 ml bottles. It's a great place to start as well. So Home Essentials kit is $3.30. The Essential Collection kit is $174. Both kits have the wholesale account included in it. Now, there is another option. You can pay $35 and get your own wholesale account and then start to buy oils at a wholesale price and create your own kit. So you can certainly do that. These starter kits just provide all the basic oils that you need and great savings doing it this way. Another amazing kit is the oil sharing kit, and that's this one here. And so this kit has all the oils in it that you need to start if you want to start sharing, or if you think, gosh, I really love these oils, I want to buy extra and just have them at home to save. This kit is $1,390, and the savings on that $131, and you get 200 product points. So that's like $200 worth of points already to start purchasing. So there's some of the kits that you can buy. Now, what I would urge you all to do is get back in contact with the person that introduced you along to come to this event. Certainly, if you found out through the event through me, then we'll chat later on this evening or tomorrow. However, anybody else, do go back to the person that invited you and have a bit of a discussion with them about where you'd like to start using the oils. Now, I will talk about also step 9, that doTERRA has a loyalty reward program. This one here, and it's really very generous. So you can be rewarded for making ongoing monthly purchases. Now, for me, this was kind of like a no-brainer, and I remember when I started sharing the oils, I didn't really tell anyone about it because I thought, oh, well, it's just something I want to do. But no, if you want to go natural, then the oils provide you with a way for cleaning, hygiene, to get rid of all those chemical sprays in the home, to support the immune system when it's low, but also be proactive about your health. I mean, I use the oils in salad dressings, the food grade oils in salad dressings. So, you know, not only are they getting amazing flavors with the oils, but all those therapeutic benefits, the antibacterial, the antiviral. My kids are getting all of that, and my husband as well. So definitely you'll be rewarded for making those ongoing monthly purchases. You receive product points that you can redeem with doTERRA. So depending on where you start and which kit you start with, but if you start with the Home Essentials kit here, for example, you start on a 10% loyalty reward bonus. And so what that means is if you place, say, 50 points worth of products in your LRP in any given month, you'll get 10% back in points. So what's that? 5 points. doTERRA has now also very generously started giving us back our postage in points. So if your postage is $9.95, you get 9.95 points back on your account. And so that's 9.95 plus 5 points, 14.95. 14? Yes, 14.95 points to use next month for some freebies. Now, very quickly, I can tell you that is already a cedarwood, it's nearly a clove, it's nearly a fennel, a lemongrass. Lemongrass is lovely, and everyone needs to have that in their home. It's also very powerful. You can get the peppermint beadlets. You can get a wild orange, or nearly get a fractionated coconut oil. So if you saved up those, say, 15 points, you'd end up with 30 points the next month. And so then, you're looking at a bergamot, you're looking at a black pepper, cardamom, cassia, a lot of the major oils there, cilantro, cinnamon bark, clove. If you saved it up for, say, 5 or 6 months, you've got enough there for a free frankincense or even a sandalwood. That's what I do. I buy my everyday oils that I'm quite happy to use in my cleaning, in my skincare, share with my friends and family, and I save up for the sandalwood and the helichrysum, all those really powerful oils that you just keep aside there when you are really looking for something quite therapeutic and powerful. So that's how that's about our loyalty reward program. Now, you've got 3 ways to become an oil user, and that's at the very bottom. So I'll very quickly explain about that. Now, you might want to live the essential oils and doTERRA and just take charge of your health and nutrition. And so basically you're taking care of your health naturally by using doTERRA's pure essential oils. You want to enhance your lifestyle and learn more about the oils and other natural healthcare products, and you want to earn free products and with the loyalty reward program. And so the other thing is doTERRA gives us a free product every month when we place an order worth 125 points. So again, sometimes, you know, it could be at Christmas, sometimes we get frankincense for 200 points. So that's really generous. You know, you might want to share, you might want to help others improve their health. So you might want to help your friends and families by sharing the oils. You might want to invite them to learn more about essential oils and host a class. So hosting a class is really quite simple. It's exactly what I've done this evening, and I've kind of just read it off this sheet. Pretty much, you might have noticed me looking down. I was reading off this sheet, so and just adding my little tidbits along the way that I've learnt and come to know. So it's really quite simple, and we'd love to have a chat with you about this. And you can certainly go back and chat to the person that introduced you to the class on how you can do this. And doTERRA essential oils also represent the safest, most beneficial essential oils available today. Or you might want to do what I'm doing and build an amazing, abundant lifestyle, you know, abundant in vitality and wellness, and abundant in, you know, in your finances and as well. So you might be looking for something to supplement or replace your income, and doTERRA certainly offers you the support and the opportunity to do that. So you've got the opportunity to become financially free, basically. Again, I'll say with all of this, there is no pressure, but the opportunity is certainly there. And I would urge you to talk to that person that invited you along to this webinar tonight. And if it was me, definitely have a chat with me about it. And, you know, we can definitely discuss how we can look at, you know, increasing the abundance in your life. So that's it. Thank you for coming along and listening. I'm going to have a quick look now at any questions that I might have. So I've got a question about using the oils for detox and GI cleansing. Now, doTERRA has a really amazing, powerful product called the GX Assist and PB Assist. And so basically the oils in the GX Assist are lemon, tea tree, and oregano. And so those 3 oils form a really powerful detox. And so those oils are in doTERRA's GX Assist. Now, you could do this yourself. You could pop those oils under your feet. I like to add On Guard with this, and I just add 2 drops of each. I put the On Guard under one foot and these 3 oils under the other foot with some carrier oil. For my children, it's about a teaspoon, for myself a little bit less, and I just massage it under the feet for about 10 days. You would never want to use oregano for more than 10 days. It's really, really powerful. More than 10 days in a 30-day period. Any other questions? Okay. No, so I seem to have answered all those questions. Now, if you do have any questions after the event, feel free to email me, or like I said, go back to the person that invited you, and I hope that that opened up your eyes to the amazing benefits of essential oils. They've certainly changed my life, you know, not only with the oils, but the information that I've been able to receive. doTERRA is an amazing company, and they really want to empower us to become our own health advocate, so that, you know, we can start to recognize when we're feeling imbalanced and do something about it right away and be proactive about it. So have a beautiful evening, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Bye.